What is up, my betting people? I'll be joined soon with the tag team experts of drag racing, Elon Werner, the brains of Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, and Rex Simmermaker, the mastermind of Win Light Bets. I'm your host, JT Hudson, and we're about to send it through the water box and launch another episode of Who You Got, the NHRA and Drag Racing's gaming and fantasy show from the Trailblazers at DI. This week, we're heading to Sonoma for the Denso Nationals as we continue the shorter West Coast swing. Elon's going to join us with all that fan data and insights for Drag Race Bracket Bonanza and a ton of info for you from Denzi's Deets. So strap in and join us for episode 5 of Who You Got. It's time to get in the game. But remember, folks, gambling money has no home. Let's get it. What's up, my guys? Episode 5, heading to Sonoma for the Denso Nats. And I think the Elon's already there, aren't you?
I'm already here. Yeah, I flew down from Seattle this morning, so I'm already at the track. They got a lot of stuff going on in advance of the race. They got a big karting event for Speedway Children's Charities tomorrow, and then the Eric Medlin dinner on Thursday night, and then we roll right in to the race. So after this, I'm going to head over to that Russian River Brewing Company. Caps and Antron are doing an event. So
he's rubbing it in, Rex.
A little bit.
Like, seriously rubbing it in. Yeah, like, oh, I've got to go here. I've got to go.
I've got a lot of wounds.
These cold, frosty mugs of draft beer.
I've been rubbing it in with all my friends in Texas that I'm out here on the West Coast, and it was 66 degrees when I got off the airport, and it's like 100 degrees in Dallas.
Yeah,
so,
I noticed you usually go home after every other race, but
I stay out here. It was again, I got to start saving money because I got a hole to dig out of. We'll get into that, but it was less expensive to buy 3 one-way tickets. One way from Dallas to Seattle, one way from Seattle to San Francisco, and then one way from San Francisco back to Dallas on Sunday night on a red eye than it was to buy 2 round-trip tickets.
Oh, yeah. And
we're just glad that you did.
In their hotel rooms and everything else you got to figure into that?
You'd still figure into the hotel rooms. Now, I kind of eat the Seattle hotel rooms as kind of a personal, because went to a Mariners game Monday night and then went to the Pop Culture Museum yesterday between working. So
sounds fun.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Sounds like a vacation, JT.
This
sounds like a big vacation.
I gotta admit, man, when I go to races, it's pretty well a vacation too.
So the last couple years I've stayed after with my wife. My wife has come out and we've gone to Tahoe for a couple days, but it just didn't work out this year to string that together. So
I went to jail one time in Darlington at a race, and I bought a Tahoe off a guy in the drunk tank. Yeah, well, he needed bail money.
The life of JT, holy cow!
Oh, yeah. Things you do for a baconator,
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a life hack. All your cars in the jail room. Well, there you
go. That's right.
Yeah.
Any news around the sport that could affect any of the betting? And
I don't know that it'll affect the betting other than John Force out of the hospital. Apparently was in Phoenix and has now gone back home, which is good news. They're going to do outpatient care. It's amazing. But I think as far as news, you look at Ron Capps had a pretty significant explosion. He said it was probably one of the worst ones he's ever had in his career, hitting walls, blowing up. He's going to be back in action this weekend, no problems at all. And then Dave Richards had another crazy race. Left lane, hangs an immediate right and noses it right into the guardrail. But he was able to get his chassis looked at, racers helping racers. So he should be up and running with no problems at all. So he would be a good dark horse choice. And, it always seems to work out that when something crazy happens, you get a little bit of magic dust on your car. So,
dude, you know what?
Big things.
We kind of have this thing around the office that every time we put someone on the cover, they seem to get that magic dust, and they win. Matty Gordon. Remember that if we have someone on the cover, like that'd make a good bet.
I may need you to put me on the cover here in a couple weeks.
The DI karma.
I know. Yeah.
It's the reverse of the SI jinx.
Elon has a big cooler this weekend.
Rough. But yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest news with those two guys, Caps and Dave, being able to bounce back. And then we got the Getrex Pro Stock Motorcycle race, race within a race, which will be cool. The one thing we were talking about before the show, whoever gets to the final round of that race is going to get a bonus run on Saturday, which could help them on Sunday. So
for sure, more data.
Yep.
And then back to the John Force thing. Like, who do you think is going to replace? We could do that as an extra pick here.
Little side wager,
side action.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's been a growing. I think again, the NHRA had the chance with PlayNHRA to bet on who was going to be the 100th female to win a race, and Maddie Gordon's already gotten that. I think there's opportunity to get a little action on that. Rex, you want to go first? Who do you think's going to? And they've said, I think I read somewhere that they may test at Night Under Fire, and then get someone in the seat by Brainerd so they could have the last 8 races. Because whoever gets in the car,
I think I saw that too,
is going to earn points for Force.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that for up to 8 races.
Well, if you want to know who I hope or who I'm rooting for to get that seat is Ashley Force Hood. I think she's very talented, gentlemen. I think she's
that would be
incredibly talented.
It would be awesome.
I would love to see her back in the car here at some point. Who I think is probably going to happen, my guess is, if I had to lay the money, I would put Tommy Johnson. I think he's capable, been there before, and reliable. He's a guy that you can put in that seat, and the sponsors are going to be happy with as well.
I would also love to see the franchise back. That's what I called Ashley when I did JFR PR. She hated it. I would call her the franchise. She did not like that at all. So apologies, Ashley. Of course, would love to see Ashley or Courtney back in the seat, but they got families and other obligations.
Sure. Yeah.
But give me Jack Beckman. I think again, same reason as Rex said, championship caliber driver. I think the one leg up he might have is he taught all the Force women how to drive in Frank College driving school.
Yep.
And then it would be a true Days of Thunder move because Force has one of his worst head-to-head records against Beckman.
Oh, wow.
He cannot beat Beckman. And there was a year where he was like, he did not beat Beckman for a whole season. I think he went like 0-11 against Beckman. So it could be a true Rowdy Gaines, Cole Trickle kind of thing.
I love that, man.
I need you to get in my car because my sponsors got to see my car on the track. And then Beckman could actually potentially win Force his 17th World Championship, which would just add another layer of insanity to the John Force, Lord of the Rings, 9-volume life story of his.
I'm digging that story. I love it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Just think about you get down to the World Finals, and you got Beckman earning points for Force. Austin Prock is in the championship hunt. Caps is in there. Hagen, and it's like what a storybook that would be to just have Beckman earning points for 4. It would just be crazy. So that's my pick, Beckman.
Okay, well, you guys didn't leave me. You took the top 2 there, didn't you? But
hey, you can. We're not
could,
exclusive.
but I'd hate to split it. So I want to see the winner of this get 300. So let's just do it that way. I'll take Jordan Vandergriff.
Oh, that's a good.
And
I'd give you 3-1 on Jordan Vandergriff.
Yeah,
because he's tested in the car, but I just I don't know where their future mindset is. Although,
right, in the future, yes. I think so.
JT,
but yeah, you're looking to get points right away for John Force Racing.
But they've shown putting Austin in that car. Austin does not have that much more experience than Jordan Vandergriff.
Yeah.
And if anything, he's shown, good car.
Yeah.
Tested a little bit in Norwalk at Night Under Fire, and we'll just see. So yeah, that's not a crazy pick.
No, it's gonna be interesting, isn't it? I do love that story though.
The Beckman story would just be
story would be pretty damn awesome.
It's so funny because then that could be the John Force movie. It could just be like,
yeah,
okay, well, I thought winning Rags to Riches, just winning the first championship would be a movie. No, that's not that great. Oh, 10 championships in a row would be a good movie. Well, no, that wouldn't. Oh, how about crashing in 2007 and coming back for another championship? That'd be a good movie. Well, no, actually, here's an even better one.
Right.
Big crash, survives, has to get one of his nemesis to drive the car for him to win him a championship.
I stopped to watch that movie the other day.
Yeah. Oh, if Days of Thunder.
I mean, I did. It was on.
It's on TV, and I'm flipping the channels at 2:00 in the morning. Guess what's going to happen? I'm watching that MFer until the end. I don't care if it's 2 minutes in.
Yeah. Oh man.
At a minimum, you have to watch the scene where he gets pulled over by the troop.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
all based on true NASCAR stories.
It cracks me up when you're around. You hear everybody saying sayings, from different movies, and especially that one. Horatio, I know Coley always goes the outside, or whatever the saying is, and whatever the old movie was. But I talked to a lot of these young kids that laugh. When I look around, they're laughing. We're at the golf course, and everybody's laughing when you say something like that. And I go, "Have you seen that movie?" I've just started asking them.
Yeah,
they haven't seen most of these movies. I don't know what the hell they're laughing at half the time. If you think about it.
Right, exactly.
They probably saw the scene on a TikTok clip.
Yeah, that's exactly. Rick, you're exactly right. They saw it on Instagram on a reel or something, and they're like, "Oh, that's kind of funny."
Yeah,
I use the line about you'd be surprised what you can learn from watching ESPN all the time. I basically live my entire career like I don't really know anything, but you'd be surprised what you can learn by watching ESPN.
Yeah, that's true.
Watching Fox,
a lot of truth.
Real quick, we'll go over.
Yeah.
Nope, not this. Hold on, I'm on the wrong slide. Sorry, Elon.
Okay,
man, what a comeback that Rex has had. Holy cow! He was. You were 400 in the hole, weren't you, at one time, or 350 in the hole, or something like that?
I told you, don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm calling it a comeback.
Years.
I'm calling it a comeback. So, what was Rex? What was your big? What was your big winner last weekend?
Jaggy. Like, the odds makers. I mean, they want me to win. They want me to win. They give me odds. They give me 1,000 plus 1,000 for Jeg Coughlin. What are we talking about?
That is nuts.
This is easy money.
Yeah. I mean, you could just sprinkle money in that pro stock field, really. There's so many guys or so many people that can win. Did you hit on one or you hit on one? That's right. Yeah.
Yes, I just hit on one, but it was enough to
but seriously, with the odds on these guys, you can be down. And I mean, I hate to say this, because but
you can be Elon. You can say
you can be Elon. But you can literally be down and make a good pick or a couple good picks for a couple weeks, and you could be way up. I mean, Rex is a perfect example of that.
Are we sure I didn't pick Chase Van Zandt last weekend? Can we go back to the show? Can we go back?
Dude, I'm pretty sure you talked about it because I immediately, when he won, I went back to look. I was like, did he take him? Because you talked about it.
Did you talk yourself out of it?
I did.
He did.
He was like my dark horse, but then I just went. I don't know. I think Richard Gadsden or somebody. I think I did.
You did
at least say the streak was going to end, but I picked the wrong streak buster.
Yeah,
and I forget. But if you would have picked Chase, it was over 2,000.
If I would have picked Chase, I would have been immediately unavailable for all future Who You Got shows to just continue to maintain. I'd have come up with every way to just not. I'd have just frozen. I'd have that.
He's froze. I just come up with an umbrella because you just be making it rain. The whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, yeah. So
I hit on Steve Torrance
some work to do
last week, and I think I hit on 2 last week, didn't I?
Yeah, because you hit Torrance.
Yeah, hit Torrance, and then
you split with somebody, and then
yeah.
Did you split with Proc and somebody?
I did. Yeah, I had the 50 on Proc and 50 on Tasca, so I got the 50 there.
JT, we're going to need you to commit. If you would have commit, you'd be way up right now.
I don't know, man. I kind of like splitting them up.
Plus 1,400, Rex. He's already halfway to a new jet boat.
That's fair.
Yeah. A new float for the above ground pool. Yeah. Living the high life, boys.
Now, just for our listeners, this number here, like, so when we look at your 14, 24, 47, JT, and we've had, three weeks. 3 weeks. So is that 14, 24, 47 plus 1,200, or is that's over 1,200, right? So that's
your profit. So we're betting 400 a week, and that's what your profit is, correct?
Yeah, we started with 400.
Yeah,
on week one, and we haven't added any money to that. So that's just betting the 400, and then every week when you make your bets, and the 400 comes off of there, and then you either win it back or lose it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm going to go. I'm going to need to get. So I went over. I was negative 400. I lost every bet last week.
Right.
Which is why I dropped from basically plus 600 to negative 190.
I feel compelled to say this though right now. So this is the exact reason why we want legal gaming, right?
Yes.
Because let's suppose this wasn't legal and there was no way to get it legal. Elon, right now, you would be scrambling. You would be trying to pay someone before they broke your ankles. And we don't need that. We just need time to settle this thing up. And so, like, this is good. This is a good thing, because if it goes underground, it's a problem. And Elon, you would be not swirling wine tonight. You would be you'd be trying to.
I'd be dodging my way into the facility, trying to work my way between haulers, avoiding Vinny Three Fingers Spinelli.
That's exactly right.
Don't worry, Elon. I've got Matt Hagan. I talked to him last week, and he's going to do the collections for me.
Oh no!
But I'm sure you stand a chance. You can probably take him, so I wouldn't worry about it, man. I just keep placing bets.
I don't think it was funny last week when Hagan and Dave Richards were racing the first round. Those two mountain of men up on the stage was just like, we should just have you guys just wrestle for it right now. Just barroom brawl for it. So no, I'm going to get back on the winning side. I've already kind of mentally thought about who I'm going to pick this week. So with the help of Denzi's Deets,
I am winging it this
right
week.
in there.
I'm going to listen to you on Denzi's Deets and make some of my picks off of what you say. How's that sound?
That's perfect. That's what they're there for. So so if you sign up for Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, you get your Denzi's Deets every Friday morning about 11 o'clock Eastern. So Dave Dinsmore, PR guru, supplies this information. It's got a lot of good stats, quickest ET, quickest mile per hour. Eventually those things will be added to the suite of PlayNHRA options. But I think 340 is in jeopardy this weekend, Friday night at Sonoma, or Sunday morning maybe. But kind of, you get everything for Nitro and Pro Stock, and Dave's knowledge base is so vast. So we split it up into Nitro and Pro Stock, and you look at the Nitro Denzi's Deets this weekend, and Doug Collette is on the Wall of Fame here. He's won here like 5 times, hasn't won here in a while, but he's the guy you got to go with, I think. The Collette guys are running so good. Langdon gets to the final last weekend. On the Top Fuel side, that's the guy I think, Doug or Sean, this race is magic for him in Top Fuel. And Funny Car, JFR has owned this facility, whether it's John winning, Robert winning, the late Eric Medlin won here. Now it's probably going to be Austin Prock's turn. That guy is running. I mean, he won everything last week.
He's on a tear. Yeah.
He won everything. And this is just a cool track. It's been named a couple different things. It's got a road course. They've raced everything here: NASCAR, IndyCar, MotoGP, IMSA. But they now, they built a dedicated drag strip with suites on one side. It's a super fast track. I think you'll see Funny Cars. Austin's got to be the favorite, but Wilkerson's run good here. J.R. Todd. Your dark horses could be some of these guys. Daniel Wilkerson, Dave Richards' program's coming around. We'll just have to see.
I like it. I like it. Is there anything in pro stock?
Yeah, I think pro stock comes down to the big two. It's still Greg and Erica as far as the favorites. But I think you look at who's winning. The Coughlins have dominated the last couple races. Aaron Stanfield. It'll be interesting to see if KB Titan can get back in the winner's circle. I mean, Eric Latino's been running great. He's just terrible on the Christmas tree. He'll tell you that. He's got a car that can win. I think Dallas Glenn, he was racing a hometown race last weekend. So maybe he's got a good car, a little fewer distractions. And then the big shocker, the streak is over.
The streak.
He's not a machine. He's a man. Gage Herrera finally lost. And lost, was actually Chase Van Zandt got off the line first and outran him. So
what was that you were saying about that last week, Rex? Was it something about the sun rises and
I said the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west, and Gage Herrera. Well, let me just,
he was right there. I mean, he
was.
It was amazing, and just it'll be interesting to see Gage's mindset now. I think he handled the pressure of continually getting to the record and then winning beyond it. But now he kind of he's going to have to deal with, hey, you lost last weekend, but now he can be a fresh start going into the Getrex Pro Stock race.
There's a lot of. I had to be a lot of pressure, man.
I mean,
my God.
When it's just and also when people just expect it, that's just a lot of. So now he can kind of just get back to just racing. Not that he wasn't, but now maybe he's got a little chip on his shoulder of, okay, well now maybe I want to try to go, 18-1.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the pressure for that and the expectations, and man, there's a lot hanging out there. I mean, you're making history with every run, every win. So, I mean, gosh, it'd be a lot. I don't know. And you're right. You're right. To have that off your back it'll probably be big, I would think.
Yeah, I think it'll be big. And that record, I don't think you're going to see, no one probably thought Glidden's record could be broken or the race. But, I mean, someone winning 12 races in a row, winning 50 rounds in a row, it's
insane.
I think those records are now pretty safe.
Yep.
And also, let's not discount this in the specialty race. Matt and Angie Smith are pretty dang good in specialty races.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this could be a good breakout weekend for them as well. And, I'm sure not that Matt Smith needs motivation, but I think it motivates him even more that he wasn't the one to break the streak.
Right.
Right. When you're in that streak, like when and everybody's kind of going, hey, this is enough's enough. Like you have to almost embrace the fact that you're unliked at that point in time. And I don't know Gage well enough to know whether he embraced that or not. But I mean, that'll be a big part of his, how he moves forward, because I mean, you win a lot, man, people can dislike you in a hurry. They can tell you they're friends.
I hated to root against him, but my God, like we were taking these bets, because the odds were so crazy that we had to take a couple swings at it, you know, and then I'd sit there, be watching the race, and be like, come on, but you hate to do that, you really do.
Yeah. And I think Rex, to your point, and I think Gage is still very well liked universally for his universe, but that really the only driver that's been able to dominate and still keep 90% of his fan base is John Force. Yankees dominate, people hate the Yankees. Celtics dominate, people hate the Celtics. Montreal Canadiens dominate, people hate the Montreal Canadiens because they win all the time. Force is the only athlete, I think, that's been able to just kick everybody in the teeth for a decade in the 90s and still come out smelling like roses. That no one – and there were very likable people that could have risen up against him, from Cruz to Ron to Beckman, that they have their fans, but they don't hold a candle to Force.
It's a great point. It really is. And it's a special talent to be able to do that. It really is. Yeah.
Chiefs are going through it right now. Oh my God.
He was so likable when he was winning that it was like, man, I like this guy. He's just like, man, I want him to just keep winning. And I think Gage is like that too. I think there were quite a few people that were very happy to see Gage doing as well as he was, and he was humble about it and he was respectful about it. But then there were also the Matt Smiths and the Chases and the Angie Smiths and the Giannas that were like, I want to beat this MFer.
Yeah.
And, now they have, so we'll see if that motivates everybody. And perfect timing before the Getrex race. I mean, what a great – so excited for that event. But what a perfect time to kind of just dump all the toys on the floor. Because if Gage would still be on this winning streak, I think there probably would be some people that are like, well, he's just going to keep going. Right. But now that call out on Friday or whenever they do it, it's going to be spectacular. Because who do you pick? I mean, Gage will have first pick, and you probably would have thought, oh, he's going to pick Chase. Well, is he? Because the guy just kicked your ass.
True, right.
It's payback, but you're also kind of pulling the tiger's tail a little bit.
Yeah. Give the motorcycle guys and girls credit. They have enough drama to last them a long time.
I heard it got pretty spicy on the media call yesterday. I think I think there were some guys that were passing some shots back and forth. I haven't watched it yet, but some people were tweeting about it that, there's no love lost in that class, and they're not afraid to, get after it, which is awesome.
You need that kind of shit, though, man.
You do.
I mean, you do. I mean, I'd say for the motorcycle guys, this has been good. This run, and I mean, it's been spectacular to watch. And most of the time, everybody's complaining. I think that people have been talking about it. I don't know if they had this much publicity in a long time.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be great for people laying action on it now because it just makes it even more intriguing.
Yeah. Let's look at this is last week's.
Yeah, so it's funny how it still kind of breaks down along qualifier lines, but you get past the top four, and it's just think about Sean Langdon. Less than 1% of the people thought he was going to win that race, and he's in the final. I mean, that shows you kind of
not only was in the final, he's been running
running good. But I think I think people understand how important qualifying is, but the Coletta guys and Tony Stewart and some Josh Hart are turning that on their ears because there are so many quality cars that no matter where you are in the field, you can go rounds, which makes this like Top Fuel. This is probably the most competitive class based on fan predictions. Because I think if you go to Funny Car, JT, it's pretty bonkers. Austin Price, nearly 70% of the people thought he was going to win the race, and then he did. And Caps is right there. But you look at the drop off is so
huge.
Paul Lee at 1%. I mean, again, that's the thing is
what a weekend for Paul Lee.
How many procs are signed up for the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza? I mean, how many procs? I mean, then the whole family.
They have a lot of procs. I mean, again, that is also true. You get Jill and Thomas and Jimmy. Yeah, there's probably some strength in numbers there too. But
that's how I win chili cook-offs, man. You get all your friends.
Exactly. It's like the open night. It's the open mic night at stand up. Just bring all your friends for their laugh. But I love these stats because it just gives you an insight into where fans' heads are at, and they do pick based a little bit on qualifying, but the fandom will still rise to the top on that. I think that shows that people are pretty passionate. Like look at Pro Stock. It's still Erica's world, and we're all living in it. But you kind of get
when that money rolls in, it changes the odds. So people got to remember that too. You're going. I don't think that he's if he's a fan favorite, and he's getting a lot of money bet on him. I mean, it's going to change the odds. So like in Pro Stock, Erica.
It's Erica and Greg, but again, Jake Jr.'s right there. 4%. I mean, that's a sizable amount of people compared to he was the best second ranked second group driver. I hate to say second tier because I know that drives people crazy, but he's up there. And you're looking at guys, don't sleep on the McGahays. I mean, look at the jump Mason made just by running good. He's up there right behind Jeg.
I'm just thinking of how smart those 3.5% of the people were. I mean, they were really brilliant folks, though.
And they probably got that. They probably got that off their Denzi's deets because Jeg was one of Denzi's.
It was.
Sure was.
Could you imagine that?
Look at this Gage Herrera, 80%. And then, but obviously when
Chase was still up there at 2.4, which I'm surprised. Not saying against him, but I'm surprised it wasn't a little bit less actually. Because Gage,
because he's not a well-known commodity,
right?
He's building it. He's a super personable kid, young, great story. I mean, he hit the wall with his motorcycle in Dallas, and then had to come back from that. Didn't finish the season. I mean, I would think that would be mentally. And he talked about it in Seattle after the race. That it was a mental comeback, and it's still a mental comeback for him. These guys and women that get on these motorcycles, my hats off to them. When you look at what they're doing at the speeds they're doing at, their guys are running nearly 204 miles per hour in Seattle. Who knows what they're going to run here this weekend? It could be bonkers. So, but don't sleep. You look at like Gianna and Richard down there towards the bottom. Those are all riders that need to get a better look, I think, from the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza fans a little bit.
Yeah, because Gianna went rounds, right? Yeah. How far did she get?
I think she got to the semifinals, maybe.
Yeah,
at least the quarters.
Right.
Yeah, she.
Yep.
So now let's get to.
You picked her, I believe, last week.
I did. I'm a big Gianna fan. I think that she's, I think of all the drivers, it's easy to say, oh, hey, this is the handful of drivers. But I would have picked her. I think I picked her to be the 100th female winner that Maddie got. Because honestly, I wasn't thinking going that deep into the Lucas Oil series, things like that. So I got hyper focused on Mission Foods. But Gianna could very easily be, and actually Gianna's already won. So that's Jasmine is the one that is. I can never keep the sisters right, who haven't won. But Gianna's won before, so we'll see. We'll see if she can get back in the winner's circle this weekend.
I love that info. Yeah. All that data that you get from those.
Very cool.
And then let's go ahead and look at some odds for this week at the Denso Sonoma Nationals. We've got Gage Herrera is still negative 385. So it really didn't move a whole lot from last week, I don't think. Actually,
and it's funny because he moved a little bit.
He moved a little bit. Yeah,
Chase moved a little bit, but not
a lot,
not a ton.
Yeah. You'd have thought.
But that just shows how, if you're going to place a wager, it's based on data and trends and analysis, and one race is too small of a sample size. So just keep that in mind when you're making your picks and stuff. But I love the I just love this class. I think it's super exciting, and I think I'm going to jump right in and put my money all 100 on Matt Smith this weekend. I think we're going to get I think he's chomping at the bit to get in the winner's circle. I think now that Chase has shown Gage is not infallible, I think Matt could have a big weekend.
I like it. I'm gonna split here and go with Matt Smith with 50 and Gadsden with 50. I just love those odds on Gadsden. It's round plus. Right. It's plus 1966 if you can't read it. So crazy odds. So got to take a chance on it. Yeah. If you're just picking a winner, I'd go with Gage. But we're trying to win some money here, folks.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna swap up. I'm gonna split. I'm gonna split on the Smiths.
Here we go.
50 on Matt and 50 on Angie.
That's okay. We like that. Think about this though. Somebody is gonna pay you 26 times your money if Angie Smith wins an NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle event.
And come on, yeah, and she's won. Right. So I'm going 50 on Matt, 50 on Angie. I'm going all in on the –
That's my they want us to have their money.
Yeah.
They want us to have their money. This is what I'm telling you. These odds makers want us to win.
Yeah.
You got to take them out for stakes if you win.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, Rex. Who do you like here?
I'm gonna go with Chase Van Sant. Listen, he just won. It's plus 1,800. Chases my son's name. I'm going with that.
I'm going all in on. I love it.
I'm going all in. Yeah. He just won, and they're giving me 1,800 plus 1,800. Come on.
I'm very surprised he didn't move a little bit more. Pro stock. And look at that. Erica Enders is not in the top 2.
It's crazy, right?
It really is.
I'm going to go 50 on Erica. And man, at plus 1,000, I'm going to put 50 on Troy Coughlin Jr. I mean, that's just too enticing to not. The guy's been running so good. Those elite cars are running well.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Erica. I'm going to go Erica Troy.
All right, and Rex.
This is bad TV. So I mean, but please know, people, that Erica and Troy Coughlin Jr. were my picks as well. This is like the equivalent of yes, I'll have the fillet. It's the same. You know, that's right. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the same stuff.
Well, me too. No, I'm joking. I'm going with Erica. Straight up, $100.
I like it.
She's due.
You can't go wrong with that. I mean, like I said, she's due.
Erica at basically 5-1 odds. I mean, what other,
I'm gonna call her and tell her I get her a new pair of Jordans if she pulls it off. No, because she will, and they'll have to buy them.
Right, yeah, exactly. Then you'll be out real money.
Okay.
Now, see, listen.
But really, these, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 here. It's under 1,000 on odds, but still great return on all those. And then this field, though, is so badass. And these odds are just crazy. Like, I would love to just go to one of these races and set and, drop small bets on all of these.
Right.
To be honest with you, after qualifying.
Because you're looking at Matt Harford and Derek Kramer. Those guys have won races. They got good race cars, and they're way down there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And like we've talked about it before, Eric Latino's running really good.
Yeah.
And his odds are plus almost $4,000.
And Mason McGahey at plus 22. He went to the Mission Foods Too Fast Too Tasty final round and barely almost won that. So there's money to be won if you're willing to take a shot.
There really is.
This is better. I think this is the most important. This is better than going to a roulette table. Like, you get better odds, plus these guys. You're like, okay, well, so-and-so can't be. I just look at Erica's odds and I go, well, she's not. At some point, she's going to get just like, I'm not losing anymore and just going to go win a few, right? And so this money is so much easier to make than a roulette table or whatever.
When they get this betting going live, and you can bet, like in the rounds and in eliminations and stuff, it's going to be really fun. And that's where I think it'll be really fun for fans. Yeah. Because it's red and blue, right? It's elite, KB, and fans are riding with one or the other. It seems like so. It'll just give you an opportunity when they line up against each other, to go live and place that bet. And I think that'll be a freaking ball. Top Fuel. Rex, I'll let you go first this time.
This is just a total emotional play here, but I'll take the odds too. If Brittany's coming back, like, we're gonna do something, kind of hero, win for one for Pops, and it's close to home. So I'm gonna pull that card.
And the odds on Brittany are what?
Plus 982.
So you try to win for the old man, right? Like, you try to win for the old man.
I'm gonna do a similar deal. Josh Hart ran nails at this race last year. He had the best race car on race day going head to head against Justin Ashley, and he lost by 0.08 of a second in the semifinals with a 25 light and just barely got outrun. So I'm going all in on Josh Hart this weekend.
All in.
Hey-oh.
Plus 1281.
Hey,
This is, gamble responsibly. That don't bet more than you can lose. But this is how I'm going to bet my way out of a deficit, which is not how it really works.
You got to bet big to win big.
That's true. I'm going all in on Josh Hart.
I'm going to split here. I'm going to stick with my boy Steve Torrance, and I'm going to do 50 on him, and then I'm going to do 50 on Doug Coletta.
Oh, okay.
That is pretty solid.
Well, I mean, he just, they're running good.
Guys dominated here. It's been a while since he's won, but I think that that's pretty solid strategy right there.
6, 7, 8. Okay, and then our final picks, and taking a look here at Funny Car event winners. Austin Prock, of course, is the favorite at plus 418. Still great odds though, guys. I mean, geez. Matt Hagan 524, Tasca 655, Ron Cap 730.
Who are you going with, JT?
I am going to go with. I'm going to split again and go with Prock and Hagan.
I am going to also split, and I'm going to go Bob Tasca for 50.
I like that pick too, actually.
You guys haven't.
Or who was your other pick?
Oh, sorry.
Or who's your other pick? Elon? Did he freeze up?
I think so.
Let's see if he comes back here. Did you hear his other pick, or did he freeze up?
I didn't know, but in the meantime, I will just say I'm going to pick Ron Capps and put my money on Ron Capps.
I like that too.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped out for a second. I don't know what happened there, fellas.
That's okay. He took Ron Capps, and then who's your other pick besides?
I took Tasca and J.R. Todd for 50 each.
And J.R. Todd.
And I wanted to say Todd at Tasca at 655 and Todd at 786.
J.R. Todd pick's gonna pay off for you soon.
I hope so. But then I also want to do I want to do a side bet that I do think Bob Tasca is going to run 340.
Oh,
so we could do over and under on that.
Yeah.
Don't we have the odds for that as well? Because isn't there a high mile per hour?
Is.
Oh.
I think we have odds for that, don't we?
I've got it here somewhere. When we find it.
But yeah, you think the conditions will be right this weekend, right?
I think so.
To run high mile per hour?
I think so.
It's raining here in Indy right now, so I can't speak to the California sunshine.
It's spectacular here. And that Friday night here in Sonoma, I mean, that's when Robert ran 3:39. I mean, was Friday night at Sonoma a few years ago. I mean, that's been a long time too.
So Funny Car, they have Matt Hagan as the favorite, and then Austin Prock and Tasca in that order.
Is that for number one qualifier, or is that for?
That's for quickest CT.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think that Tasca is going to be able to probably go crazy on the ET, but for sure they're going to create the power to go 340. So Tasca plus 340.
Yeah, but they don't have a line for that, do they?
They don't, not yet.
No.
And it just, I mean, that's the type of thing that Winlight Bets will have for, our players.
Right.
Is, hey, do you want to go over under on
that's sweet.
Worse than 340 mile per hour, things like that. So yeah, that's what we think is really exciting.
Yeah.
But you could if you thought that was going to happen, you could bet 50 on Tasca as the quickest CT, and that would get you the odds are 596, so get you about 300 there.
And it's tricky sometimes because sometimes that
mile
per hour doesn't exactly correlate to quick ET.
That's true too.
But more times than not, it will. I mean, he's going to run 382 at 341 miles per hour or whatever. And I do think when he does break it, it won't be like a 340.07. It'll be like a monster shot, like 341.6 something.
We'll just do a side bet, 50 apiece on the over and under, Elon's got the
I'm going to go over.
Rex?
I'm like, Elon, you've convinced me, but I'm just taking the under because I feel like there's a better odds play for
You're
that.
right. I'm sure it is.
But you've sold me. You sold me. I believe you. I just am betting against you. That's all.
Hell, I watched him do it once already, right? So,
yeah.
Oh man,
I don't know. I feel like I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie, Bad Lieutenant, with Harvey Keitel, where he was a degenerate gambler. It's a really dark movie, but he was a degenerate gambler, and all his police buddies knew he gambled, and he would tell them, "Oh, what are you betting on this deal?" And he would be like, "Oh, I'm taking the Lakers and the over," and then they'd be like, "Oh, okay," and they would all do that, but then he would second guess himself, and he would not do the opposite. Through the whole movie, he did that, and everyone thinks he's winning all this money, but he's
actually losing,
selling all these guys on it, and they're doing what he says, and he's doing the opposite, and ultimately it was his demise at the end of the movie. But yeah, so.
Yeah, there's a great scene where he just empties the clip on his radio in the car.
Yeah,
he's so mad that one of his teams loses. He just pulls out his, just unloads the clip.
Unloads and just shoots his cop car up.
That's how. I mean, that's exactly how fantasy football is. Like you go in, you watch the Sunday morning football or whatever, and then or the pregame,
right.
And you see some information. You're like, yeah, I better set him. And you go in, you swap him out, and then they have a day.
Yeah,
and he's
4 touchdowns, 250 yards running.
Yeah, that's sitting on your bench. Like, yes.
All right. Well, I feel good about my picks, and I do think if you're not going to pick, definitely play Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. You sign up for free anytime. DragRaceBracketBonanza.com. We've got great prizes. So we had. Last week we had Steve signed his plaque back-to-back champ because he'd won the last 2 Seattle races. Someone's going to get a Chase Van Zandt first win plaque. So definitely the prizes are cool.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool to have?
Yeah, I mean we try to trick it up to where it's a significant. For 4 or 5 races in a row, people got like a Gage Herrera 8 in a row, 9 in a row, 10 in a row, 11 in a row.
Yeah.
So it's free to play. Cool. Anybody can play. You can play for every national event. But it's just DragRaceBracketBonanza.com. And you get your Denzi's deets if you sign up, anytime between now and Friday morning. And then you get updates on how the race is going. So definitely it's a lot of fun to play, and definitely want to check it out.
I dig it. And real quick, I just wanted to throw this up here. You can also do the head-to-head betting. We talked about it in the past. And this is just for example here. This is Pro Stock head-to-head. Pretty cool, man. Like you can go in here and just pick who's going to go further during the weekend, and it's basically pretty much even odds. Bet 100 to win 100, a little less on some of them. So, but I wanted to show everybody this because
this could be fun. I do think like if you can go the Coughlin's head to head or the KB guys or the elite guys. I think that is going to be that's pretty cool if it's available in your state to just go head to head like that.
Yeah, and like if you go on to Underdog Fantasy, it's a better or worse thing on there. So it'd be pretty cool. Like I like the Jerry Tucker Kitty Delco one. I mean these are fun.
Yeah,
Greg Anderson, Dallas Glenn.
Well, forgive me. I mean, you guys can stop me if you think I'm totally off base here, but I mean, as great as the racing has been, like I'm going to say the last several years, especially in Pro Stock, outside of maybe Greg and Erica, there hasn't been this great rivalry because, they're all professionals and they all respect the other side of it, and it's very much, hey, we get it. These guys are working hard too, but this type of stuff, I feel like maybe has a chance to, drum up that rivalry a little bit in places we haven't seen it in a while.
For sure.
And in a good way, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially when you do get like, I think last week they had Dallas versus Aaron. So you can like kind of, and they'll swing it around to Greg versus Erica just to get people interested. But yeah, I totally agree.
Right. So I think this one went probably just off the the odd sheet, I would say,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, because Greg and I would think so. But yeah, I would, if I was doing this, I would probably have Greg and Erica every week matched up against each other.
Yeah. But this is the stuff that PlayNHRA, I think, is really dialed in on really well, and just giving people the opportunity to just kind of, make some picks like this and have some fun, and really just kind of get even more involved in the sport, because then you're just kind of like, you're not locked into one guy. You're watching round by round. You're like, okay, Greg just won. It's almost like you're, obviously it is the deal where you're picking a guy's points.
Yep.
And you're just watching them make baskets, and you're like, okay, one more round win. One more round win.
And we're in the money.
We're in the money,
baby. Well, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, Drag Illustrated for having us, and Racers Club, racers.club. Get your shirts. Got my Waffle House Racers shirt on. Yeah, I love this shirt, actually. People stop me all the time and ask me, where'd you get that shirt, man? It looks like the Waffle House. Yeah, it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should say this, but I mean, like, my whole drag racing upbringing was stopping at Waffle House when we came home. I mean, I'm just assumed for a long time that everybody else was also, but the Waffle House in Collinsville, Illinois, after leaving Gateway, was standard operating for Simmermaker.
Heck yes, man. I love me some Waffle House. And then Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. Get signed up for your brackets. And if you get signed up, you can get a text message, email, and notification when your deadline is. And I think that they remind you.
Yep.
I'm the only person that forgets to fill their shit out. So,
well, JT is going to get on my special list, the exclusive VIP of VIP of just like the text reminder of JT. Have you done your pick shit? It's a very select group, but there are some people that even with an email reminder on Saturday night, and then a 1 hour or 2 hour email reminder, and then a 1 hour text reminder that still, we're busy, we're at the track or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's although real quick, the guy that won Top Fuel for the Seattle race actually did the randomizer button, and the randomizer scored him a Steve Torrance plaque. So that's proof that the randomizer does work. But if you don't have time, hit that randomizer button.
Bam, bam.
That's interesting.
It did. I couldn't believe it. So, and maybe some other people won with the randomizer button, but this is the first time we've heard about it, that a guy won with the randomizer button.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We used to have people that didn't watch football win our football pool.
Yeah.
Because they just picked the mascots they like the best, or pick all the home teams. Yeah, it's just crazy. Yep. And then if you're not busy on Monday nights, tune in to The Racing Business with Jason Dukes. He sits down and talks business on the business side of racing with racers and sponsors and car owners and crew chiefs, and it's pretty interesting, actually. And then on Mondays, catch Kayla Zadell, and she has Reaction Time, and I love this show. We're like we said, we're all busy, right? This show wraps up everything from the weekend, so you can get clued in on what happened throughout all the different series, and she just does a great job with it. So, and then we have the Wes Buck Show on Wednesdays, and then our show on Thursdays. We're about to get a show on every day.
Content.
Yeah. So if you want to start a podcast, holler at me. No, I'm joking. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good week.
Yep. Have fun at the races.